What is going on, Alpha Hunters? It's your boy Neil here. I know typically I don't start out on the camera, but hey, today I'm going to show off something a little bit different. That's why I'm on the camera. But I want to talk about 5 things that help out military people, especially new people going into the military with signing bonuses and stuff like that, that you can use that money to, just kind of invest it. If you've never been into investing, you didn't come from a family of investing or good financial acumen, I'm going to talk about some stuff today that really help you out and some things to avoid, okay? But I'm going to start now by looking at some things that I got in the hallway, some military things memorabilia that I have that I want to show off because helping out the military is very near and dear to me because I do have family members that have served. I served for 3 years. I went to a year in Iraq. And so I just want to help out those that I can. And military is a big part of that. Okay. So here, I just want to show this lovely fella. Yeah. He, about 50 pounds lighter. He can actually run. So, but that is my profile pic at basic training. I know the glare is kind of getting this, but it's okay. But I just wanted to show off that, and then I got some other things for you here. Okay, so I also got me and my boy Brandon Gregory here. He was my best friend while I was serving. I was actually best man at his wedding when he got out. And then that is my grandfather in Korea. And then this is the plaque, the scout platoon from 2-5 Cav Scouts at 1st Cav unit up in Fort Hood, Texas gave me upon me getting out. So that was pretty cool. And then this is our scout platoon photo when we were in Iraq. And all this stuff is still hanging up in my dad's house. We put it up once I got out of the military and really never got out. And then I got some other things over here. So like this is my spurs I got from getting out, and they give you spurs after you go through combat when you've been in a cavalry unit and that kind of stuff. So that's the plaque for the spurs. The picture or the paper in there, the certificate's actually off-centered, so I need to fix that. And then my Archon medal certificate, and then this is my training certificate from Fort Knox, Kentucky, along with this certificate as well. And then my Army Commendation Medal. So, yeah, I just wanted to show you some of that stuff and just give you a little bit of history about me. And let's continue on with the program. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that a little bit. Just want to give you a little bit of background about me and my military history. I did enjoy every bit of it. There are some things that I do want to address that I feel like I really kind of screwed up when I was in the military. And one of those is finance. That was probably the number one thing I screwed up the most is finance and investing and just kind of having financial acumen and knowledge. So these are some things that I mean, just kind of simplify it. 5 things that I think you should really focus on to come out in the future. Your future self will love you for this. Trust me, I know. But the number one point that I want to get across is don't spend it. By it, I mean like any kind of disposable, paycheck or bonus. If you get a bonus, and one of the reasons why I did make this video now is because the military is actually giving out $50,000 bonuses. You don't want to just waste it on I want possessions. So what you want to do is you want to control your spending. Okay? You want to buy what you need and invest the rest. I can't tell you how many times when we got back from Iraq, do you know how many new vehicles there are in the battalion? Like in that first month, I probably say a third of the battalion bought new vehicles. A bunch of Joes back with money buying vehicles, and it was just dumb. I actually bought my truck. Here it is. In 03, about a year before I deployed, and so I bought that truck. A year later, I deployed. So about 2 years after owning my truck, I didn't even, I mean, all I had lost was value in it. I didn't even drive it for a year. And so it had lost roughly about, I would say, half, maybe a third of its value. And instead, in that time, I could have been investing and actually making money or increasing my value, especially for the year you're deployed. For a year I was deployed, I was just losing money on my truck from the depreciation instead of actually investing in appreciating assets. And that was something that I really kind of regretted about my military history. It's just, I shouldn't have ever bought the vehicle. And you know, if you need a vehicle, get a vehicle that'll get you from A to B. But dude, nobody cares about your vehicle. Like, it's new for a day or two and it's no longer new. Right? Like nobody cares anymore. Dude, don't buy a fancy vehicle, especially like around most military posts. If you do buy a used vehicle, buy one not around a military post. You can buy, like, it's easy to buy things online nowadays. With like Carvana and those kinds of things, but go to like the next big town away from the military. Try to go to like somewhere reputable. Do a little bit of research. Don't go to like a used car lot, man. Like they know military people are coming and they sense it when you step in. Okay, so really do your research. Go to places like a little bit more reputable, like CarMax or something like that. Eco Park. Here's another thing that you're going to definitely want to do. Research on how wealthy people spend their money. And this is going to really shock you. Wealthy people don't spend money, man. They have money and they don't spend it. They are frugal, very frugal. Warren Buffett, one of the most legendary investors ever, he doesn't spend money on really anything. So another thing you're going to want to do is learn how to budget and have discipline about setting your budget. You know how much you're spending for food, know how much you need to spend for clothing, all that kind of stuff. And you're in the military, man. You don't need a lot of things. Like, your uniform's pretty much already set and standard. You got your PT uniform, you got your work uniform, all that kind of stuff. Military actually gives you a lot of things as far as like uniforms and stuff like that. So when you set your budget, just have your discipline. Eat at the chow hall. Dude, it's cheap and it's good. Like, people knock it. I was like, it's actually not bad. When you get your paycheck, when you get your bonus, pay yourself. And what that means is invest. That's all it means. It's pay you. Don't pay, go buy new clothing. No, dude, that's not paying yourself. Pay your future self. Okay? Maybe it should be pay your future self. But pay yourself, man. Put it into investments and stuff like that. That insurmountably will help out in the long run. You'll love yourself a few years down the line. You're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I did that. Because when you get out, like if you get in for like 5-6 years and you just put yourself in passive investments, you can turn that $50,000 bonus into like 90 grand. The next thing you're definitely going to want to do is understand your time commitment. Okay. And by understanding your time commitment, you'll be able to manage your off time. Okay. So when you get that clear understanding of what you got to do every day, is it, you're PTing for an hour, you got to wake up 30 minutes early. You're going to have an hour between PT and, the normal work day to kind of get ready. And then, you're going to have about 8 to 9 hours with a normal work day. And that's if you're not going to the field. And that's another thing to think about. Are you in combat arms type stuff? Are you in support? Are you kind of more in the rear type roles, that kind of thing? How much time off do you kind of have? This is really what you want to know. And make a schedule, man. Get your calendar out on your phone. Put in like, hey, when you're going to be busy, when you're not going to be busy, when you're going to be in the field, and figure out what your time off is. And then that way you can use that. And I'll talk about that just a little bit later. The military is going to use you as it sees fit. They're going to tell you to, hey, you're going here by this time and all that. You're going to want to be able to use free time to your benefit. Now, here's the thing. Wealthy people spend nearly all their time increasing their value. They might not be increasing financially value, but they're learning. They are learning new ways to make money, to bring in more money. And that's what I mean by increasing their value. You might not be doing things on your free time to, bring in money, but you are learning about new ways to bring in money. And that is hugely valuable. If you are serving or know somebody served or have a favorite military branch, like that pinned comment down below. And if you have any good cadences, leave those in the comments. I've always liked good creative ones. The third thing I would do is open a broker. I know many of you guys are like, I have no idea what the heck a broker is, man. And all a broker is, is an intermediary between you and the exchanges on buying stocks or other investments, okay? And here's a list of brokers Here on this page, we got Webull, TD Ameritrade, Robinhood, Interactive Brokers, E-Trade. And Webull and Robinhood, they're more on the cheaper end. I think they actually have free trading. I know Robinhood has completely free trading, and Webull, they have mostly free trading, if not all free trading. TD Ameritrade, Interactive Brokers, they're the more advanced trading platforms, and they have pretty low commissions compared to what they used to be, and you can kind of thank Robinhood for that. And then E-Trade's another popular broker. They're a good, well-balanced broker. But the one that I use personally is TD Ameritrade. And if I was to recommend anyone out of this list, Webull's pretty good. Number 4 is going to be learn and practice as much as possible. Let's get back to that free time we were talking about earlier. So what you want to do in your free time is you want to learn, you want to practice, you want to analyze how well you did on your practicing, you want to make any adjustments to make things profitable, and then repeat, okay? And this is just kind of a basic understanding of how to evolve your trading, your investment philosophies and strategies over time. And I get in the beginning, a lot of it's gonna be pretty new to you, a lot of new terminology, you know, and you might not have the free time to learn all the things you wanna learn or all the things you need to learn, but it's okay. Just understand that you don't have to use real money going into investing. So like I mentioned earlier about the brokers, TD Ameritrade, they have great paper trading tools that you can use on their Thinkorswim platform. Paper trading, all it means is just practicing. It's not using real money, it's just practicing. And that kind of stuff is very powerful as it allows you to get used to what you're doing without putting real money at risk. And number 5, this is where you are actually going to execute what you learn. Are you going to be active or are you going to be passive as far as it comes to investing? What we want to talk about here is just investing implementation, okay? Active trading can bring in more returns and cash flow, but it's not a big deal. Like if you can't actively trade, right? We were getting back to that whole time commitment thing. If you can't actively trade, which I know most of you people in the military aren't going to be able to, you're going to be at work all day. You know, so the most active trading, so you won't be able to day trade, and I don't really think day trading is like where a lot of value is made. It's really not. But active trading, yeah, it can bring in great returns. But so if you have the free time in the evenings to where you can check on investments and change some positioning and stuff like that, that is fantastic. But if you can't active trade, I would rather invest than not. And passive trading or passive investing is what I wish I would have done. I wish I would have known more about just investing and trading. You know, my time commitment when I was in the military, I was a lot in training. We went to Fort Irwin, California for a month, NTC, the National Training Center there, to get ready for our deployment. So we spent like a week every 2 months in the field, and then we spent a month over in California, and then I was deployed for a year, and then I came back from deployment and I was here for like 2-3 months and I was out. That was pretty much my military. It was pretty quick. I was in training a lot, so I didn't really have time to actively trade or manage any kind of investments. But what I wish I would have done is just put investments into the SPY, the triple Qs, the RSP. I'll just give you a brief overview of each one of these 3 real quick though. The SPY is an ETF that mimics the S&P 500, so it's already diversified. So it's not like investing into one individual stock, okay? It's an already diversified ETF. The triple Qs is kind of like the SPY. It's 100 companies that are only listed on the NASDAQ, and it's usually heavily weighted towards tech, okay? The RSP is kind of like the SPY, but the SPY is a market cap weighted ETF because it mimics the S&P 500. Okay, the RSP is an equal weighted S&P 500. Okay, so the S&P 500, which is market cap weighted, the RSP takes the same 500 companies, but it equal weights them. Okay, and the RSP in the long run should outperform the SPY. If I was to invest in anyone, it would have been the RSP. With what I know now, you know, going back to that time period of when I went into the military, I just would have took my signing bonus and any kind of disposable or leftover income I had for the month, I just would have just been dumping it into the RSP and just let it run. That way I wouldn't have had to worry about my investments. I know it's already diversified, and it should perform very well. So to wrap things up, these are the 5 things that I think you should just focus on as a new military person, and I tried to leave out a lot of terminology or specifics, as I didn't want it to get over your head. You know, as you have extra time and you do research, you'll learn about new terminology and stuff like that. But don't spend it on I want possessions. Understand your time commitment. Open a broker. Learn and practice as much as possible, and execute what you learn. Are you going to be active, or are you going to be passive? And one of the things I will highly recommend for most military people, because you have busy lives. And the other thing is, man, the military might tell you to go do something, and you did not expect you were going to go do that, and they can tell you on the flip of a coin. So I would focus just on the passive stuff. Just keep putting money into one of the 3 ETFs I kind of told you about, the SPY, Qs, or the RSP. And guys and gals, you'll love yourself in the long run, okay? So take care, be safe, enjoy your careers. I enjoyed mine, but most of all, be safe. And thank you for doing what you do. Alrighty, take care, Alpha Hunters.